Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. Mariah and Tess. I feel like at this point they serve no purpose in this episode today. They literally did, and you know the sad thing is that for as long as I've been watching this show, they haven't really served a purpose at all, and I don't really understand. Like this episode had its good moments. That's mostly with the whole Victor and Ashlyn stuff. And then you had moments with like Tess and Mariah that just didn't really go anywhere. I mean, Mariah was a little kind of bummed out when she found out about the whole Dom situation. And mostly because like she was just like, why was I like the last to know? But I mean, granted, she did sit there and say, Abby didn't really even sit there and tell like most of her family. But she felt kind of bummed out about that. And then they just started talking about the wedding. And like at that point, I was like, is this going somewhere? It's like once again, they're sitting there planning this wedding. I'm like, they've been planning this wedding for how long? Like, I mean, I wasn't really that invested into it before, but you guys have found a way to make me feel even less invested than before, and that's quite a feat. And then they go downstairs. They get Noah, Ray, Sharon, and Nick. Like, we got an announcement. I'm like, okay, cool. What's the announcement? Did you guys pick a theme yet? What y'all got going on? And then they don't really give an announcement. They didn't sit there and say what the wedding was. It almost seemed like they asked everyone else to sit there and decide what the wedding was. I'm like, so your announcement is nothing. Your announcement is. Oh my god! What? It's things like that that just pisses me off. Um, I mean, hell, in the beginning when they showed Sharon and Ray, I was like, is there a purpose of you being on the show at this point? Like, I listen. I know that I am late to the game. Okay, I am late to the party, and I'm sitting there throwing all these things out. Like, why is this person there? Why is this person important? And I get it. They might have been important. They might have been doing some great stuff, some interesting things. Like Mariah, when she got captured and all this other stuff that was going on with her. That was great when it happened before I started watching it. But as a new viewer, as a new viewer, it just doesn't just some of this stuff isn't not working for me. Um Now Nick did come by and was talking to Sharon about Ashlyn and faking cancer and everything like that, and she was like appalled. I mean, her reaction was the same thing as my reaction. So she was she was disgusted, and Nick needed to talk to somebody. He needed to kind of just vent because he was at the office, and Victor was not there telling him what she planned. I mean, Victor was like, "I got this. I'm gonna handle this." Nick was like, "Cool. So you brought me over here because why again?" And when he didn't give me any answer, he was like, "You know what? I'm not dealing with this." And he headed out, and he unloaded on Sharon, and then Noah came back, and I'm not gonna lie, this is where it became some of this mundane stuff. Um, like they were like, "Oh, Noah, you look like you're tired. You look like you just kind of rolled out of bed," and Noah's kind of hanging out with some girl, just kind of talking or whatever. And it was like, why is this important? It's mundane moments like this or like that for me just drags the show down because I know the show has potential. It has potential because it's been on the air for so long. It's outlasted shows like Passions, like As the World Turns, as Guiding Light, and all the other soap operas that I mentioned. It has potential. It has the cast. It has the talent. But when you throw in boring, mundane stuff like that, like why do they need to show that stuff for? And it just becomes filler, and it's sad because it's like you gave the good stuff, the good storylines to Victor and Ashlyn and Victoria and stuff like that, but then you know Noah and Sharon and Ray and Mariah and Tess gets crap, crap. I'm just gonna be honest, it was crap. It was like 13 minutes of my life that I can't get back now because I chose to watch this show. That's pretty much why. But yeah. So Victor comes in there, and I know a lot of people don't like Victor. I've heard all the reasons. Um, but the way he walks in there, he's very dramatic. Okay, he walks in there, closes the door. He's like, "I'm done playing games with you." Well, how old are you too? It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. Damn, bro. And he pretty much just kind of lays out like, "You've been lying. I caught you. I got people that's gathering up evidence." Now, at this point, I'm like, he's telling him all this stuff, all this evidence he has. And Ashlyn is playing stupid. And it's like, what are you talking about? Why would I sit there and fake this, that, and the third? And I'm like, Victor, I hope that you have more, like, to back it up, than just the bluff, It, it's like you came to the final boss, and I'm just like, do you have any ammunition to back up this stuff? Like, did Michael Bowen actually send you documents or anything like that? Did you actually have like any tangible proof? I mean, because at this point, it's all hearsay. I mean, it's some damning claims, but Ashland didn't get to where he got to by being stupid. So while you have all this stuff, where's the proof? Anyway, he tells Ashland, listen, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go back to Peru. You're gonna divorce her. You're gonna give back the company. Um, and then you're gonna disappear forever. You're telling him what to do, and in the title it says he gives him an ultimatum. Well, what are you gonna do if he doesn't do that? I mean, seriously, if Ashley decides not to listen to you, what are you gonna do? Tell Victoria because she's so good with logic and reasoning, right? What is your backup plan? So yeah, he tells him that, and Ashlyn's like, listen, if I do all that, it doesn't mean that she's going to listen. It doesn't mean that she's not going to sit there and try to find out what's going on. You know your daughter. You think she's not going to sit there and try to fight to sit there and see what's going on, or fight for me for our marriage or anything? That's the truth of the matter. He's not wrong. Now Adam is doing his best to distract Victoria, and Victoria takes a couple of low shots at him. And Adam, there's one point where he just has this look on his face, and Victoria's like, "What's that look for?" He calls it resting face. I'm like, "All right, Adam, I'm starting to like you. I'm starting to like you a little bit more." Let me just pour this real quick. And she was really going in on him, like, "Oh, you work for me," and I'm like, "Wow, damn, girl." I mean, I don't know what the dynamic is, like who fired the first shot, but I mean, she has no problems in there trying to belittle this man. And he just had to sit there and just be reserved. Like, there was one point where he's talking about, or he's talking about Ashlyn. And Victoria's like, well, you need to give him the respect that he's earned. And I'm like, hey, lady, there's so many different words I can use with 4 letters in it, and I'm just not going to go there. But he started as long as he could. she left, and then Nick came back, and Nick was like, "Yeah, I gotta see what's going on." You know, like he left, but he was like, he came back. He was like, "I gotta see what's going on." And Adam was like, "Listen, I don't know where they are, but whatever's going on, it seemed like it's robbery started." So when Victoria gets back to her office, you know, she tries to open the door, it's locked, and she's like, "What's going on?" She starts yelling for Ashlyn. So this is going to be interesting. Now, granted, earlier, Victoria and Ashlyn and Nikki was like, I guess it's the next day, and Nikki was like, "Yo, listen, you gotta sit there and you gotta tell Victor about the new news. Like, you can't sit there and blow this off. Like." And you know, Ashlyn was like, "Whoa, you know, we got a marketing meeting," and Nikki was like, "Nah, I got that covered." And of course, Ashlyn gets a text from Victor saying, "Yo, listen, you need to meet me alone. I know you need to meet me alone," or something like that. So Victor calls Victoria and tells him to go. You know, like, "Hey, you know, I want to meet you. You know, come meet me at the office." And that's when, and I know I told this story kind of out of order, but that's when you know, Victoria goes to the office and sees Adam, and she's like, "Ah, I want to see you," and that's when that whole thing started. Now, one of the other things I want to sit and say before I go is that the actress, I guess, that's playing Summer is leaving. They're going to replace her with somebody else. And I know a lot of people were like angry and kind of upset about it. And they're like, why is everyone leaving? And this, that, and the third. And I kind of look at these situations. I don't remember seeing Summer like ever. And I know a lot of times when you don't have these characters on screen that much and they're not really there that much, it's like, well, what are you gonna sit there and do? You know, like they gotta sit there and find some sort of way to make money or whatever. So it's like, you know, it just seems like one of those things where it's like it was gonna happen sooner or later. I find that even in other like soap operas and stuff like that, when you have a character that comes in once in a blue moon, there's a good chance that that person's probably not gonna be there that long, and they're probably gonna do something else. Like when I look at GH and I look at Christina, you know, they don't really show her that much. And don't get me wrong, it's really nice when I get to see her, but they don't show her that much. And so whenever they have like recasting and it goes sideways, it's like, well, you didn't give this person a proper storyline. You're not really having them there, you know, on the show. So it's like, what else are they supposed to do? So I don't know. I thought about that when I was sitting there reading about Summer. I think that's about it. I really do. I feel like that's about it. And it's just one of those things where it's like, man, they really need to find a way to capitalize on some of these other characters. Like having Tess and Mariah sit there and talk about their wedding. It's like, are we actually going to get to the wedding part? I mean, you know, like, are we actually going to get there? Because it's like, why do I care? Like Noah coming in and talking about some girl that he was talking to for, you know, all night or whatever. It's like, why is that important? You know, Ray was there, and I'm like, why does it matter? You know, like Ray and Sharon was there talking about Mariah and her, you know, her wedding, and it's like, yeah, it's great. It's kind of mundane stuff. Are you going to give these people a story, or like? And I think that's kind of the imbalance that I'm seeing in this show. And it's a shame. Like I said, the show's been on for years. Like, do something with these people. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I got way too comfortable, and I picked up my bottle of Sprite, and I was just gonna sit there and just drink it on film, and I'm like, no, that don't look good. That's just not a good look. So yeah, that's why I had to pause that. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.